All right, so let's say you're a city council member and the mega jail came to your table. What would you have done?
Oh, I would have said no way.
Okay, high-rise building would have came by your office and your desk. What would you have said?
I would have said no way, especially the type of developments that we've been fighting.
What if they say, hey, think about your re-election in 2 years?
Lucky Boys Podcast.
Chinatown was actually left out in certain business loans, small business loans that were given out to different zip codes of the community.
I believe it is the 10013.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was because it's known as a wealthy zip code.
Yep.
Meanwhile, that is a horrible way to look at it. If you said it's a melting pot, I mean, because one area of the street within that zip code, yes, it can absolutely be wealthy. You walk 2-3 minutes and it's a 180.
Yeah. And you should never do anything by zip codes, right? They're struggling minority-owned businesses throughout the city. There could be even like a street vendor out in Tribeca or in Midtown in an area that makes a lot of money. So the way the city did that is not only like racist, I think it's just like, it doesn't make sense. And so fortunate for us, we had activists like Jan Lee, who was on Twitter calling out all the elected officials, city agencies to say, why are you leaving out some of these mom and pop shops? And I actually went to go visit them during that week when Jan started promoting them and making sure that they were being heard. And luckily the city decided to change how they do their disaster relief or like loan program to make sure that they have been incorporated. But it's a citywide issue, right? Like that was one person that was advocating for this neighborhood. Like zip codes are it's not the smartest way to like distribute money.
Especially in New York.
Yeah.
And because, you're absolutely right. It's not exclusive to 10013.
Yeah.
There's several other zip codes that are impacted where there's mom and pop shops residing in that area among the mix of wealthy businesses.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just who's thinking of these things? It just seems to me that they're only looking at the surface and they need to drill down a bit further.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just looking at numbers. They're not looking at the people that are within these communities.
Yeah. And they're not even asking the question, if like small business services in the city should have been reaching out to people on the ground and saying, how do we best distribute this money? How do we make sure that, going back to like one of the early issues we were facing is whether some of these restaurants are going to have outdoor dining or not. Like they didn't reach out to small businesses to say, this is how it should be. This is how you can qualify. Oh, wait, you don't have any storefront? Like, let's find a way for you to have your business on the street. None of that happened. And I think it's just a lack of organizing, a lack of like operational management that this mayor has shown for years.
All right, so let's say you're a city council member and the mega jail came to your table. What would you have done?
Oh, I would have said no way.
Okay, high-rise building would have came by your office and your desk. What would you have said?
I would have said no way, especially the type of developments that we've been fighting.
What if they say, hey, think about your re-election in 2 years?
That's fine.
Because a lot of the times, people who are in office are always already working to the next election, so they only do what currently impacts them.
I think if the people know my message, they know my platform, right? I ran 4 years ago. I could have easily been like, oh, how do I win the next time? And I did the opposite. I was like, look, you talk to people, you educate them, you show them what we can accomplish. Like that's my base, right? Like if I win this election, I know why I won. I won because I was true to these people. I did not kiss up to elected officials. I did not talk to big donors. I did not talk to special interests. Like this is a hard election cycle because we rejected all of that. And that's why we have to be outside in like 18-degree weather, talking
Chris,
to people on the street.
How do we say no to the developers? I mean, they own New York. They are powerful. They're a very powerful group, these developers.
I think it's like
millions of dollars involved.
They have 8 other candidates that they can fund in this race, right? But I think we're rooted in community.
But how do you say no to them once you're in office? That's what I'm saying. Like, how do you not fall for that temptation? However, they try to sweeten the pot.
I think it takes a lot of work, right? Like the only reason we have a shot now from rejecting all of real estate is because we've been on the ground and doing the work. Like if I'm a council member and I'm doing my job and I'm hosting town hall meetings, I'm at your block association meeting, I'm at your co-op meeting, I'm having Zoom with seniors. Like, they're all going to know me and they're all going to vote for me because they know I did the work along the way. It's when people stop doing the work and they look for shortcuts. And I think that's when they get, these special interests to come and say, look, I'll give you $100,000. You don't need to do grassroots fundraising. Like, if you look at my donor list, almost everyone's from in district or like a college friend, right? If they're not from in district. But that took a lot of work. That's telling people donate $10, $5. I had I would say like 60 restaurant workers give me $10, $5. And that's meeting with them, telling them my vision. And that's where I got into this, right? I'm 31 years old. I'm young. I want to be the most energetic council person in the city. I want to make sure that everyone knows what we're doing. I want to make sure that people have a say in what I'm doing. And so this is going to be like a group effort. And so if we fail as a group, it's going to be hard, but we have an opportunity to do that.